What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming. Trying out new angles, trying to find the best angle for since I got this big tripod now with my camera on it. Want to test it out. So why not test it out on this wrestling review of Monday Night Raw? This Monday Night Raw episode was weird, and I'm gonna get to it. Hold on. Y'all should have just seen my the ring light I got for lighting. It was just sitting there linked like this. I'm just like, what? But yeah, this episode of Monday Night Raw was very it was like did it seem like to y'all it was just like random at certain points? But I'm gonna get to what I mean. The one I think this was the best way to start off the episode though, having the RK Bro and Alpha Academy. Basically, this was like the third and final round of their little academic challenge, and they basically the last round was basically like a Jeopardy style like game where they had to answer multiple question trivias. So, and doing when they it was funny back. It was funny because you knew. I mean, even though it was still entertaining, you knew who was going to win. You knew because it was built because you saw it in the other two rounds. It was kind of built that the Alpha Academy was going to lose because of the fact that Chad Gable keep bragging about his 4.0. Thank you. I do like that though. I ain't gonna lie. That's like the most annoying thing about Chad Gable, but it works because he's a heel. I also like when he goes shush. Like it's kind of funny. But I like the best parts was like when Chad finally got an answer wrong. It was like in the buzzer. He was like, that buzzer is too loud. That buzzer is too loud. And turn it down. And then when they had basically like I think the final question was like, well, how many ounces was in the ground? And Riddle was like, well, when I was calibrating he was like, I got this one. And Riddle was like, well, do you know the answer, Randy? He said, he meant to say, do you think you're the only one who bakes, bro? But he can't. I think he messed up and said, do you think I'm the only one who bakes? Like, it's something like that. He messed it up, but I got the point. But that was like the funniest thing. So it was funny to see Randy Orton basically answer, a type question. But yeah, they won. They going to get some way, someplace down the line. Riddle and Randy Orton are going to get a tag team championship rematch against Alpha Academy. But right after that, as Randy Orton and them basically left to go celebrate, and we were told later on in the night that there's gonna be a Broga, like a Broga party, like a Toga party, but they call it Broga. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle will have like a Broga party. I actually, you know what? Before I move on, I actually love that Randy Orton is really messing well with this storyline Matt Riddle and stuff. It actually makes it better that Randy actually could be that person that's like serious, but he could also be kind of like Riddle, like goofy. But yeah, like afterwards, the Street Profits came out to make fun of the Alpha Academy and basically challenged the Alpha. I thought I was about to say they challenged the Chad Gable got mad that they was taunting them, so he challenged them to a match, and that would be like the first match of the night, and that match was actually pretty good. It was pretty good, though. I do wonder, like, my only gripe is like, what are they doing with the Street Profits? Like, you would think with I don't know. It's weird what they doing with Big E and the New Day. You would think they would actually have something for the Street Profits to do, but apparently they took the L in this match and allowing AC, or as I like to call them, AC or Alpha Academy, to get the win. I just want them to do something with the Street Profits. Like they a good tag team, just like the New Day. But the only thing about the New Day is that I wish they would stop putting Big E and Kofi. Like it was recent articles about people. They said backstage they met their. This is a little segue off of the path, but it was recent articles that said that people backstage, like wrestlers and you know the writers and stuff, they're mad and upset with how Big E's being treated. They said Big E is the most genuine, kind, and hardworking guy in the business, and they don't like that he's been, just like Kofi, he's been shoehorned back into the tag team picture and unceremonious, like for no reason at all. For no reason at all, he would just dump back to SmackDown. But that's for a SmackDown video. I just wanted to. It just made me think of that. We got the Bobby Lashley promo. We was in their hometown of Denver, Colorado. So MVP comes on. He talks about Adam Pearce and his decision to put Bobby Lashley in the Elimination Chamber match against 5 other competitors. But that Bob, you know, he like mocks Brock Lesnar by doing Paul Heyman's little stick, but for Bobby Lashley. And then Bobby Lashley basically talks about how Brock Lesnar disrespected him for the last time, and that he would dominate in the Elimination Chamber, and that he hopes that it comes down to the final two. He hopes that the final two men is him and Brock Lesnar, so he could beat and pin Brock Lesnar once again. He needed Brock Lesnar for that promo, like to have a little back and forth, but otherwise it was a decent home crowd promo. I ain't gonna harp on it too much, but you know, because Bobby has never really been too good on the mic, but he's not bad. He just needed Brock to feed off of. We got the Alexa Bliss promo with her role. The thing about this Alexa Bliss thing is this. What is it building towards? Is it building towards her becoming back the goddess Alexa Bliss, or her getting over Liddy? Like, I don't understand what this segment is for. This segment could be good if I understood what it's for. Like, so help me out. Maybe help me out in the comments down below what this Alexa Bliss supposed to be, because obviously I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Like I said, I don't know. But her going to therapy is this supposed to be bringing back the goddess Alexa Bliss to get her to undo what Bray Wyatt did to her? Like, I don't understand where this is going with that, but that was like, I really didn't care for that promo at all. We got the next match, which is Damien Priest versus AJ Styles. Here's another random fact, and I'm going to give you another one too after this, because I almost forgot. Thank God I looked back at my notes. This was a random pairing because I guess AJ Styles is now a face. He's more of a face than a heel now. But this was it was a good match. It just I didn't think they was gonna have AJ beat Damien Priest clean, but he did. AJ Styles beat Damien Priest clean. I don't know what they're doing with Damien Priest. If he's not really being protected anymore. He's losing matches, but only winning. He's basically only winning matches when he got to defend the title, but he's losing regular non-title matches now. So I don't know what they're doing with him. It looks like they're angling him to become heel. That's what I take from it. It looks like he's about to become heel myself. But yeah, the winner of that match was AJ Styles. Now, beyond this random match, out of nowhere, I seen last Monday, but I skipped Friday. I do know Goldberg came back and all that type of stuff, good jazz. We already knew that going into that last Friday because it was rumored and already revealed that week that Goldberg was coming back to challenge Roman Reigns. So I only missed Friday Night SmackDown. the women's elimination chamber match get made, and when did we have all these people? Like you got, I can't remember all of it, but I know they put Doudrop, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair in it. Where did this all come out from, and why do they have? It was random. I mention this because why do they mention this? They have one spot available that I thought was going to get filled that same episode, but they never done anything. They just it was just random and awkward that they kept mentioning the women's elimination chamber, but they never said when this last spot is going to get filled. It was just a random in your face thing. I was just like, okay. I'm just like, what? Like, this is out of nowhere. And then, but they did say the winner faces Becky Lynch or Lita at WrestleMania. And from the rumors, it's going to be Bianca Belair. We did get a Miz TV promo with Maurice, which I don't understand why Maurice was there, because I would tell you this, the majority of that promo was just Miz and Maurice. I think Maurice is literally, I could be wrong, but Maurice literally had one line. And it was that she was telling Mysterio that she could take some pointers from her and call herself Ray Maurice Mysterio or something like that. I was like, what? Why was she even there? But yeah, this is like, so the Miz is just not, so they got the Miz now just basically jumping from legend to legend. Now he, instead of feuding with, now that his feud is over with Edge and Beth Phoenix, with Edge and stuff. So now he's about to feud with Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Now what I did like about it, I did like how the Miz basically had like a callback to the feud between Eddie and Ray, where Dominic was used, and Rey Mysterio, they was trying. It was real that Dominic is really Eddie Guerrero's son and not Rey Mysterio's son. And I think that is the truth in real life. I think Dominic is really. I think, now don't come at me because I can't remember. I think he really is Eddie Guerrero's son. He looked like Eddie Guerrero. I think he really is Eddie Guerrero's son. But yeah, the whole taunting. I think they was disrespecting. They was disrespecting the Mysterios. But I like how the Miz did. He did say like, how come when everybody, he said fine. Yes, I did use an underhanded tactic to win the match yesterday, but last week. But that wasn't me cheating. That was me outsmarting you. How come when I do it, it's called cheating, but when people like the Mysterios or Eddie Guerrero and them do it, it's because y'all praise them for it. And I like that part because it did bring up like the little hypocrisy of it. Like, we do cheer for Eddie Guerrero, and then when they do it, but when Miz do it, he gets booed. So I like that, how he called out the audience for that. But this will lead into the third match, which is the Miz versus Dominic Mysterio. This will be like the rematch from last week. And turnabout fair play. Maurice did get involved. She did try. I think she tripped Dominic Mysterio. And then I think the Miz tried to get the pin on Dom, but he would kick out, and then he would do the same thing to the Miz. But the referee was dealing with Maurice, he didn't see it. And Dominic Mysterio would get the win. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in a long time that Dominic had a win. Now, it seems like it's been a long time since Dominic or his father had a win in this, but I'm glad that Dominic got a win here. Just Miz had a great point. He did have a great point. He should have been one of the participants in the Elimination Chamber match, but for some reason, like Big E, and then they won't let Big E or Kofi or The Miz stay in the title picture for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, we got the random match of the two elimination chamber matches participant, which was Bianca Belair versus Nikki Ash. Um, this was another random pairing match that didn't really get me hyped. It was like basically like I feel like it was a filler, but like at this point it was just like wow, okay. Why was they even paired together? Like it didn't have no build up. It was like it was missing a build up to it. But Nikki did work over like an injury on Bianca's. I think it was her knee, but Bianca would be able to pull out the victory in the end. Um, we do have the next match, which is Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens, a rematch from last week. Where, if you remember last week, Austin Theory had to beat Kevin Owens to qualify, or either or had to beat each other to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Kevin Owens this week is still upset that he had to qualify, whereas Brock Lesnar and Seth himself, they didn't have to qualify. They didn't have to qualify. They were just given like a buy-in to the match. So he felt like for some reason he told himself a lie that if he was to beat Austin Theory, he would replace Austin Theory in an Elimination Chamber match, and then he I don't know. He, even Cell tries. I don't know if it works like that, but I like your way of thinking. And then he had his match with Austin Theory, which was a good match. This was one of the best, great matches of the night. I think it was only two. I think AJ Styles versus Damien Priest was another good match. I want to say, yeah, this was one. It was three good matches of the night. I said that was good, but this was this was a very entertaining and thrilling match. It went back and forth. I was thoroughly entertained by it. I didn't expect I didn't expect too much from it, but they actually kind of entertained me. It was one of the matches that actually had me on the edge of my seat, wondering what was going to happen, and I was surprised. I honestly thought Austin Theory was going to get the win here, but he got beat. This is only the one. I think this was the only. I think this might have been the first time. He could have lost to. I think he might have lost to Finn Balor too. I could be mistaken. He either lost. This is his second. This is his first or second time losing a match via pinfall. Well, yeah, Kevin Owens got this victory. He ended up going later on. He ended up meeting Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, which I gotta go back and watch because apparently Sonya Deville got a broken arm now, and he basically thought they was gonna put him in the match. They told him no, I don't know why you thought that, but no, you had a good victory, but we're not gonna be replacing Austin Theory in the match because the qualifying matches are final. And then they told him you might not even be at WrestleMania, and he was to tell him about how he needs to be at WrestleMania, how Texas is his, everybody loves him down in Texas. You can't deprive the people and all that type of stuff. Moving on, I think, yeah. So we move on to which is what Lita's promo, and Lita basically talks about the women elimination chamber match, how she wanted to face Becky for so long, and that she did support Becky. She supported Becky in her rise and all that type of stuff. She pretty much came out and basically built up Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch came out and said she basically appreciated that. And she told the crowd, you don't know how it feels to have your hero, your idol, basically come out here and say nothing but good things about you. And she said, dare I say, because she supported her throughout her career and believed in her, there would be no Becky. If there was no Lita, there would be no Becky. But she said, but because there is a Becky now, she said that she also made like a jab at Ronda Rousey for running to SmackDown, for going to SmackDown and challenging Charlotte Flair. But yeah, she did make she basically said, but she said you're like it hurts me very much that you're my idol and you're trying to take everything from me. you know, you're my idol, you're my hero, and you're basically trying to fight me at Elimination Chamber and take away everything I work for, and basically she bashed Lita for that, and then she tried to cheap shot Lita, to which Lita hit the twist of fate and her Lita and her moonsault off the top ropes onto Becky Lynch to get the upper hand in this promo. Though we all know it's most likely going to be a Becky Lynch win. If they could put a swerve, because we thought they did do that with The Fiend versus Goldberg, when you thought Goldberg was going to lose against The Fiend, but he beat The Fiend and became champion. So they could pull a swerve, though that would be a good swerve. I think that'd be a cool swerve to see Lita hold the championship, since we're giving championship opportunities to Brock Lesnar. But yeah, so the next match would end up being Liv Morgan versus Doudrop. It was a random. It was just another random match that really had no build up to it, but it was based around the fact that Elimination Chamber. They all try to get the momentum to Elimination Chamber. Though I wish Liv would have got the win here, since she did get the pay-per-view match at Royal Rumble, or the Royal Rumble win. She could have used the win more than Doudrop did. But yeah, Doudrop here will end up getting the best of Liv Morgan and pinning her from 1, 2, 3. They had some momentum going into it. So then we got the next segment. My friend called me. We got the next segment in the Alexa Bliss promo, where she's basically she's basically continuing her therapy. Like I said, this I don't understand what's going on with this. Like I tuned out to this next one. It was just she started talking about how she controlled her anger or something like that. And I think the only part I remember was she said one of the people, he asked her like what to describe one of the people, and she started describing Lily as one of the people she beat up at the store. But then we got to the main event, which was Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. And this was the other good match. And there was only 3 good matches. This was the third one. This match was good. It was going good too. I was thoroughly enjoying it. I did enjoy this until they went with a DQ finish. Now the DQ finish was Kevin Owens basically coming in and beating up on Matt Riddle. But I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. We still got a good chunk of show left. Like it's close, but not time. Like, is they gonna end the show early? No. Here comes Randy Orton, and Randy Orton comes out to even the odds. He chased off Seth and them for a bit, and when we come back for commercial break, we find out that Adam Pearce, who was out there, like this is one of those rare times where where the person who made the match, we are told, because you know how we usually come back and, oh, Adam Pearce returned to the field, made this matchup, but we don't really, sometimes we don't even see him that whole show. This was one of the rare times where you actually saw Adam Pearce. He was out there ringside, so he did come out and he did make that match. It wasn't just like we was told he made the match. But he really did come out ringside, and he was out ringside, so it's assumed that he really did make the match since he was out there. So the match then we got restarted, but it was restarted as a tag team match. Now it was, instead of being which it should have stayed Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins, because that's a matchup I would like to see. But it wasn't a bad switch, but it's just like we just could have kept them just the singles match, just restart the singles match, but he restarted as a tag team match. So we had Matt Riddle or RK Bro versus Seth freaking Rollins and Kevin Owens. The match was the tag team match was okay. It was okay too. The only bad thing about it, like I said, was the fact that we didn't get to see either the singles match, but it was an okay match. Then I didn't expect I guess we could take the Matt because Matt won the singles match via DQ. They gave the loss here to RK Bro, which I wasn't expecting because of the momentum they had earlier in the night. But he's the only person I know that could kill momentum in a single day, and they gave momentum to RK Bro only for them to kill that momentum later on in the night, and that's what they did. They had they had the teaming of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens basically winning and beating RK Bro. Now I wouldn't mind seeing this pairing of Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins if that's what they building towards to be tag team. But I also really want to see more. Is that I want to see Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens go for the title. But all in all, this show if I were to give this show anything, I'll give it. I give it 7 big ups because the show was a good show. It wasn't great. It wasn't the best show they could put on, but it wasn't the worst either. It just was hampered by some weird pairing of matches and the lack of story or the lack of information on where this whole women's elimination chamber match came from and how these women got qualified for the match out of nowhere. So. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this past episode of Monday Night Raw. And if you enjoyed this video, then hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my wrestling reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, then you guys know what to do, right? You got to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that share, and hit that post notification button so you get notified when I drop videos and do all those great things because it helps the channel. It helps me. It helps the channel. It helps me bring you more premium content. That's a wrestling reference right there. It says they don't want to call it pay-per-views. Premium pay-per-views. Anyway, or pay-per-views, they call them premium. But anyways, hit any one of these videos with more of my amazing content. Peace out, y'all.